Hey friends, it is a rainy day here in North Carolina. We've got a couple of rainy days here coming up, and so normally I try not to go do errands in the rain if I don't have to, but we just got done with a very, very busy week. We need food, and I think we're actually gonna do some soup just because it's rainy and dreary, so that sounds good. And I need to pick up eggs from someone local, and I have a few things I need to do. So since I have to go out, I figure I might as well try to get everything I need for the week. I had a muffin left over. If you saw my last video, I made some stuff for those busy weeks, and I did a muffin, and I've got the rest of my egg bites. I know it's a huge bowl, but that's what they were in. So heated them up. I'm gonna eat them on my way to go do some stuff, and we'll do a little grocery shopping and then do a little cooking. All right, so I made it back home. It is rainy, humid. Needed a hat. Well, I needed a hat to keep the rain off my glasses, but also my hair is gonna be crazy. Anyways, let me show you my grocery haul. I did end up going to Aldi, Sam's Club, and Walmart, but I didn't get like a ton considering I went to all three places, but here's what I did get. All right, so here is the overview. From Sam's Club, I got toilet paper, some heavy cream, and some bacon. And what I usually do is divide these up into smaller containers and then freeze it. Because once you open it, you're supposed to use it within like a certain amount of time, and we just don't go through it that quickly. So that's what I do. That's all I got from Sam's Club. Walmart, I picked up some celery, potatoes, onions, and yogurt because, well, Aldi has not had regular yogurt. I don't care for Greek. And Walmart was out of vanilla, but I'm just gonna, that'll be fine. So that's what I got from Walmart. I picked up some eggs. These are from someone local. So that's what those are. And then the rest is from Aldi. Didn't get, well, you see. Okay, I got some rice squares or some like Chex to do some more Chex Mix. I got some freezer and regular gallon size bags because I was completely out. I'm gonna need that. I got some almond milk and some more pineapple juice for a yummy drink that I shared with you and other things I've been doing. Some more creamer, some, I don't know what I was about to say, but these are croutons, some Italian dressing, pineapple, lettuce, strawberries, tomato, string cheese, and some chicken breasts. I have a little bit of fruit left over, but not much. I brought fruit salad to a family gathering this weekend along with pasta salad, and I do have some fresh broccoli left over that I didn't use like all of it for the pasta salad that I brought. So we're gonna use and I also have some cucumber. So I have stuff for salads. We're gonna do probably like soup and salad for a couple of days is my thought. I'm thinking of doing, I'm not sure exactly, but you'll see soon, a creamy vegetable soup. And I'll probably, I don't know, I was looking at recipes this morning. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna go with, but either way, whether it calls for it or not, I'm planning to add chicken, and then I will freeze like the rest of this. So that's what I got, and I'll share the recipe with you later. We were gone so much the last few days. I just have a ton to do around the house. I've already gotten started on laundry. I need to switch some laundry over, start another load. I need to just like vacuum, things like that. So that's kind of my focus for the next little bit. But this morning I did take out a couple things from the freezer. I took out some homemade chicken broth that was in the freezer for that to thaw, and some Italian bread. I'll probably have to move that to the refrigerator here soon, that I picked up from Aldi a few weeks ago. It was $1 off, and I thought that would be good with our soup as well. So I've got to get this stuff put away, and then I got to get to cleaning my house and work on some laundry, and then we will touch base. I'm also thinking of maybe doing some baking. I don't know. We'll see what the day holds. But at least I got my errands out of the way for hopefully like the whole week, and it's only Monday. I don't know when you'll see this, probably not till later in the week, but that makes me happy because that means I have a few days in a row where I can just tackle stuff around the house, and I have so much I need to do. And when I don't have to like go, I don't know if you guys are like this, but like if I have to do errands, I would rather do them all in one day and then be home, because whenever I have to leave the house and come back, I feel like my day gets so broken up that I don't end up getting as much stuff done. Just because it's like, oh no, I don't have enough time to get this done or whatever before I have to leave. And anyways, I'm happy. I like it when I don't have to leave my house too much. So I still have a lot of the stuff out on the counter, but I was done some cleaning, did some laundry, got a shower. Anyways, I'm making myself a little snack. I got to sit down and work on the computer, and I decided to make myself a little drink. Did I say snack? I don't know what I said, but I'm making myself a drink. So I showed you another version of this in my last video, and I thought I'd show you this one. So this is a strawberry sparkling water, no sweetener, nothing, no artificial sweetener or real nothing. So strawberry, heavy cream. That may have been more than I needed to do, actually. It's all right. And then I'm doing some vanilla almond milk creamer. So that's gonna add a little bit of sweetness. And it has this very subtle strawberry flavor, and it's like a strawberries and cream. So good, so good. I do have a little bit more in here, so I might add some more in. Nice little fun beverage to sit down and do some computer work. All right, so it is now dinner time, or time to make dinner rather, and I'm gonna do a voiceover for this portion because my husband was home and I didn't want to dominate the space, the living space with me filming. This way he and I could talk and catch up about our day. Anyway, I told you in the beginning that I was going to make whatever soup I had to have chicken in it. So I took a couple of chicken breasts and just seasoned them with salt and garlic powder and onion powder and baked them in the oven until they were done. And then I'm making a creamy vegetable soup. I will have the original recipe down below, although there are some change-ups. So I started out with some butter, sauteing the onion and celery. I don't believe celery was in the recipe, but I feel like celery belongs in soup. And I'm not really a celery fan, but I love it in this kind of thing. So saute the onion and celery for a few minutes, then added in some diced carrot, cooked that for another few minutes, and then we're going to add in some minced garlic and let that get nice and fragrant. And tell you what, man, just sauteing these things smells so good in the house. And now I'm adding in my homemade chicken broth from the freezer. It's mostly thawed, not completely. There is a little bit that is still frozen, but it will all melt down in our pot. I probably added 4 to 5 cups. Some of those bags have 1 cup, some have 2. I don't know, soups are pretty forgiving and recipes are just a suggestion and a guidance for me, but I'll have the original recipe linked down below if you do better with more specifics, which is definitely how I was when I first began cooking. I love soups, and although they are more of a fall, winter meal, typically, you know what, even on a milder, summery type day or spring day, it's still good. Now, it might look like I'm adding a lot of salt in here, but I will say, first of all, that is a small measuring spoon. It is either 1/8 or 1/4 teaspoon, and I did not season my chicken broth at all. So there was no salt in it to begin with, so I added a little, maybe like a teaspoon and a half, I think, of salt to it, so it's not as much as it looks. And we're just going to, at this point, I'm just really letting the rest of the chicken broth thaw. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Italian seasoning, just what I had left in a container. So it looked like it was maybe half a teaspoon. And now I'm adding in my diced potatoes, trying to not splash chicken broth everywhere and trying not to burn myself. Now, I don't see myself eating a lot of soup all summer long, but it's May and I feel like you can get away with that. But let me know, are there like certain foods you only eat certain times of the year? I'm sure there are. But I don't mind making some exceptions when the mood strikes. And the mood strikes, or struck, the mood struck. And I love soup because it usually feeds us for multiple days. And it's got everything all in there, so many veggies. All right, so this recipe, I'm boiling, or bringing the soup to a simmer to cook the potatoes. And this recipe called to do mix flour and milk. Normally I make like a roux and then add in the milk and cheese. That's how I've always done it for soups, but this is what the recipe said. So I had almond milk, which is what I always use in recipes and don't have problems, but I also had heavy cream. So I did mostly almond milk and then some heavy cream. I think it was to equal 1 or 2 cups. I can't remember which size measuring cup that is, but once again, recipe is linked down below. And I'm just whisking in this flour. It didn't make a very thick soup, but I think it was good. I had no problem with it. I would do it again, but usually when I just do my own soup on a whim, I do a roux with some butter and flour, then add in the milk, and then add in cheese. That's just my way. But this was different and it worked and I liked it. And I'm still waiting for the potatoes to cool. So I take my, or not cool, I waited for my chicken to cool. I was waiting for my potatoes to cook, and I let the chicken rest when I took it out of the oven, not cool all the way, but just rest so that I didn't lose all the juices, and was cutting that into bite-sized pieces because we are going to add this to the soup. And it was phenomenal. The recipe does not call for any meat in it, but I really, really liked that. So did my husband. So now I'm adding in the milk and flour mixture. Once our potatoes were tender, I'm adding in some fresh broccoli. I don't think I added as much as I was supposed to, but this is what I had left. I could have pulled some out of the freezer too, but I knew I was gonna also add this can of corn, which I don't believe was in the recipe as well. I have a hard time following recipes to a T, especially when it comes to soup. We love the texture that corn brings to a soup because it adds that little pop when everything else has gotten nice and tender. And then we're gonna add in our chicken. I cut up the chicken and put it back in the dish that I baked them in. So I used my spoon to scrape out all of the bits and juices because I didn't want to lose all of that. I wanted all that flavor added in. This was a lot of chicken. It was 2 large chicken breasts, but I wanted this to be a pretty hearty meal. My husband typically eats 1 meal a day, sometimes 2, but oftentimes it's just 1. So I like it to be a pretty substantial meal. And this was absolutely delicious. And now I'm adding in our cheese. I think I used a sharp cheddar here, and that is about it. We're going to add that in and let that go for just a little bit longer until all of the cheese is melted and incorporated into the soup. And this soup was so delicious, absolutely delicious. We both really, really liked this, and it made for a nice dinner for a couple of cooler, well, not cool, but slightly cooler, rainy, gloomy days. And even in May, soup is delicious. It's really delicious any time of year. But this was a winner, and we served it alongside some buttered bread. That soup was delicious. We ended up not having salad with tonight's dinner, but we'll probably have some salad with some leftovers. So good. Highly recommend it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know that you're here. It helps boost my channel, helps boost my videos. Say hello and subscribe if you're new. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more videos similar to come. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye, guys.